manner, showing the same vigor as his nods. He obviously made regular use of the club's facilities. He wore an expensive light gray business suit, but there was no question that he would strike an equally impressive figure in athletic garb. "Be seated, Mr. Quincannon." The table was set for luncheon, but there was nothing edible on it, nor any bills of fare. This told Quincannon that his invitation did not include sharing a meal with Mr. Hawksley and his companion, unless he agreed to whatever proposition the mining entrepreneur had summoned him to discuss. When he occupied the table's only vacant chair, Hawksley introduced the other man as James O'Hearn. Just who O'Hearn was he didn't say, but to Quincannon's practiced eye the man bore the stamp of a hard-rock miner out of his element. He was as unlike Hawksley as it was possible to be. Matted brown hair, thicker and more coarse than Quincannon's whiskers, covered his face, likewise his wrists, the backs of his fingers, and no doubt the rest of him, except for the crown of his head, which was as barren as a desert knob. The overall image he presented was that of a scalped grizzly bear stuffed into an ill-fitting broadcloth suit. It was plain that even in these genteel surroundings he would have been more comfortable in miner's garb. No refined athlete, O'Hearn. Whip-hand mine boss and barroom brawler was more like it. A white-jacketed waiter approached and hovered. Hawksley asked, "Would you care for a libation, Mr. Quincannon?" "Only if warm clam juice is available." It wasn't. Hawksley waved the waiter away without ordering anything for himself and O'Hearn, to the latter's apparent displeasure. Then he said to Quincannon, "You are not a drinking man?" "No, sir." Another approving nod. "Neither am I. Alcohol, in my view, is a detriment to good health and clear judgment." From the way O'Hearn's crop of whiskers twitched, he didn't agree. The whiskers had also twitched at Quincannon's stated preference for warm clam juice, a drink he obviously considered unsavory, if not unmanly. "I do not believe in wasting time or breath," Hawksley said. "So I will get right to the point. You have been recommended as a highly competent investigator willing to undertake difficult assignments. True?" "True enough. Though, if I may say so, highly competent doesn't quite describe my abilities." "No. How would you describe them?" "As unparalleled. There is no better detective in the western states." O'Hearn grunted and spoke for the first time in a growly voice that matched his bear-like appearance. "Think a lot of yourself, don't you?" "With just cause. My accomplishments speak for themselves." "I like a man who speaks plainly and without false modesty," Hawksley said, with yet another head bob. "You have no fear of undertaking a potentially hazardous investigation?" The question caused an involuntary response. Quincannon lifted a hand to almost, but not quite, finger his mutilated left ear. A counterfeiter's bullet had torn off the earlobe less than 2 months ago. He was no longer quite so self-conscious about the disfigurement, thanks mostly to Sabina. But he had yet to completely lose the notion that people were wont to stare at the ear, or to end his habit of probing at it. "None," he said. "If it isn't of a foolhardy nature. And if the fee is large enough," he thought, but didn't add. "What do you know about gold mining, specifically the physical operation of a large mine?" "A fair amount." "In principle or from personal experience?" "Both. I once worked as a laborer in such a mine." "Here in California?" "No, back east." He saw no reason to explain that it had been a brief and none too satisfactory summer job in his youth. O'Hearn said, "Gold mining's different out here." "No doubt. But the basic labor practices are the same." "Where'd you work? Topside or down below?" "Both." "At what levels below?" 700 and 800 feet. "Not so deep." "Doing what?" "Member of the timber crew."